Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on the show, we are celebrating National Travel and Tourism Week with Travel Iowa. Discover some of the state's hidden gems and can't miss destinations you'll want to add to your summer bucket list.
Plus, if you're thinking about planting this season, but you're not sure you have the space, the Illinois Extension is here with tips for containing gardening.
And hot rods, cool treats, and adoptable pets, all for a great cause. How one local car show is making a big difference for animals in need. Welcome to Quad Cities Live. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier alongside my co-host Kyle Keel, as always. Now, this week is National Travel and Tourism Week. It is a time to celebrate the power of travel and the incredible destinations just waiting to be explored right in our own backyard.
Yeah, and whether you're planning a weekend getaway or you're just looking for your next day trip, when it comes to hidden gems and must-see spots, Iowa has no shortage of either.
Yeah.
Here to help us celebrate all the ways to be a tourist in our own state is Jessica O'Reilly with Travel Iowa. Jessica, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, I know. We always love having you here. In fact, we love it so much that we're going to have her on for 3 segments today. So we've got a lot to talk about. So you're going to share with us some of your favorite spots across the state.
Yes.
And we're headed north first to beautiful Decorah, Iowa.
Decorah, absolutely. This is on my, I love to go to Decorah, but I must go between like late March and October because that's when the Whippy Dip is open.
The Whippy Dip, I heard,
You
yes.
talked about the Whippy Dip before.
Love the Whippy Dip.
Yes.
I always get the same thing, chocolate chip cookie dough twister, and they'll say, do you want chocolate chips on that? I say, yes, I do.
So there it is.
There it is.
There she is.
Yeah, so much to do. There's an 11-mile loop trail that goes around Decorah that you can bike. They do, if you don't have your own bikes, they do have bike rental places right there along the trail, and it ends near the Whippy Dip. So,
perfect.
To me, it's like a reward.
It's a reward,
doing,
yeah. I was just gonna say
because it is challenging. I have done that. They have a half marathon, or they used to at least. I've done the half marathon on it, and I biked it, and it's there's some challenging switchbacks, but it's beautiful scenery. You go by the trout hatchery, you go by Sewer Springs waterfall, you go by the famed Decorah Eagles nest.
Oh, yes.
They also have Dunning Springs waterfall. That's a must do. Then if you're into beer, of course, there's Toppling Goliath, Pulpit Rock. Mabe's Pizza is legendary up there.
Waterfall, that's beautiful.
Yes. And then, of course, stay at the Hotel Winneshiek right downtown, so you can walk to all the great shops. They have a fabulous bookstore, and they have another ice cream shop, and just all sorts of things to do.
Yeah, tell us more about Toppling Goliath, because I remember when, I think it was like Pseudo Sue came out. It was like the super popular IPA when craft breweries just started kind of like exploding on the scene, and it was like this beer was made in this town in Iowa, and I feel like Toppling Goliath, I mean, Decorah has so much to offer, but I mean, this is kind of a destination for a lot of people.
It is for a lot of beer lovers, and there's a website, ratebeer.com, that rates it one of the best beers in the world.
Oh, there you go.
So then, and every time they do a new release of a beer, that like thousands of people flock to Decorah just to get the new beer. So yeah, and they've expanded their location. They have a fabulous menu. You can just sit there and enjoy the food. And the patio is pet friendly, so if you've got a dog that you want to take with you.
Yeah. Perfect.
How about it?
Well, and you briefly mentioned Mabe's Pizza. So one of the notes on that one, it was voted like one of the top 100 places to eat, not just top 100 places to get pizza, but places to eat in the state of Iowa.
Yes, before you die.
Before you die.
Before you die, yeah. Gotta add that part.
Gotta add that comma before you die.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. It is a local favorite.
Looks great.
Yeah, I can vouch for it. It's delicious too.
Okay. Awesome. Another brewery, Pulpit Rock Brewing. So we don't want to forget about that one. That is a big draw for a lot of people as well.
Yep, and that one's right along the bike trail as well, so you can,
there it is. That's cool.
Yeah, and so they, in the winter, they do the little igloos outside too, so you can rent one of those and enjoy your brews in the nice warm space, even in the winter.
Wonderful. And before we move on to the next community, you'd mentioned in the past when we've gotten together, and honestly other guests, Kyle, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, maybe even Emily or somebody with the extension, Seed Savers Exchange.
Yes.
This is huge for the area.
Right, and it's celebrating its 50th year this year, and so it preserves historic seeds. They have more than 20,000 varieties of vegetables, herbs, and flowers. If you go, they have a shop where you can, of course, buy seeds.
It's so picturesque, too.
It is so pretty. And they have, the Heritage Farm offers display gardens. You can tour the orchard. They have a little trail you can walk. You can fish in their trout streams. It's just beautiful. I mean, everything up there.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And of course, Decorah, known for its Norwegian heritage.
Yes.
Let's get the Vestdrive Museum as well.
Absolutely, which has a ginormous collection they've just added on, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
very cool. Next on the list is Mason City. So we're going to talk about that one. So that's if you go way far north and way far central in the state of Iowa.
Yes.
Okay.
You're like 2 hours.
I've been there.
2 hours north of Des Moines.
I've been there briefly going to Minnesota. I feel
Okay,
like, yes.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So if you're into architecture at all, like I am, Mason City is the place to be. So especially if you like Prairie School architecture, Frank Lloyd Wright is the only remaining hotel designed by Frank Lloyd Wright left in the world.
Really? Okay.
The Historic Park Inn Hotel. It's about 27 rooms. Super boutique hotel.
Wow.
They do have one of the rooms that's left sort of like it was at the time, because they used to have 2 10-by-10 rooms that shared a bathroom in between.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that anymore.
No.
We don't want to do that. That room,
old
if you
school.
have that room, because I have actually stayed in that room. So one of them is like a sitting room, then the bathroom in the middle with heated tile, and then the bedroom.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yes. And then the Stockman House,
Okay.
which is also designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Look at that.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is.
So you can take a tour of that as well. There's also an architectural learning center next door. That's where the tours start, that sort of give you an overview of all the Prairie School architecture in Mason City, because there's a whole neighborhood that is designed not by Frank Lloyd Wright, but by his contemporaries. So it's
Okay.
all still the Prairie School architecture.
Mid-century, yeah.
Rock Crest, Rock Glen neighborhood. So you can do a walking tour of that. Obviously, they're private homes. So
Yeah.
that's an exterior.
Yes.
Let me be clear, that's an exterior.
Can't go
only
inside.
Don't go knocking.
No
Don't go
knocking. Okay, and then there's an art museum there.
Oh, I love the McNider Art Museum.
Okay.
A lot of great
Oh,
museums.
Sound of
Yes.
Music.
Right. The puppets.
The
from-
puppets.
The marionettes from Sound of Music, because Bill Baird is from Mason City,
Oh,
and
no
he was the
kidding.
puppeteer behind the marionettes. So
That's
you
my
can go
favorite
see
part.
there's, there you go. And now I just try to get the song out of your head now.
Now
'cause
it's
right-
stuck. Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
sing it. Don't worry.
But they
It's a
have,
yodeling
We want you
song.
to, though.
No, you don't. You really don't.
there's a Dale Chihuly art piece, there's impressive ceramics, and even the building itself is like this Tudor-style mansion that it used to belong to someone who worked in bricks, and so there's all these different styles of brickwork
Yeah.
on the outside, of course, to show off what they could do.
Yep. All right. So I've never been to Mason City, so I'm intrigued by this. The River City Sculptures on Parade.
Yes, so they have all these different sculptures on parade. They swap out every year, but you can go wander and walk around. These are ones that I actually took because I just thought they were hilarious. The little beaver with the toothbrush.
Yeah.
And so then if I remember this correctly, they vote, and then that one stays. And so
Okay.
every year they add on. There is one that's called the Architect that sits across from the Historic Park Inn Hotel, which is not Frank Lloyd Wright, but is
Yeah.
but is kind of Frank Lloyd Wright. So
Okay.
just a variety of sculptures that you can. That's a walking thing. So if you like to go
Yeah.
out and move around to town,
It
it's
is
a great way to
it's
see
a
stuff.
beautiful place. Yeah, I remember I was in Mason City for a wedding, not driving through, so I got to see some of this stuff.
There you go, see?
And it is a very cool town. Speaking of cool, food.
Food.
Okay,
You
so
gotta eat.
Food and dessert,
we've got,
yes.
yeah, food and dessert is what we're gonna. So Northwestern Steakhouse.
This is the most iconic steakhouse in Iowa, famous for its Greek-style and American steaks cooked in extra virgin olive oil, butter, and a special blend of Greek seasonings.
Sounds amazing.
I was staying at the hotel, and I said I was going to Northwestern Steakhouse, and the lady said, "Make sure you have the spaghetti." And I thought, "Spaghetti?
At a steakhouse.
Okay,
That's
ma'am.
weird. It will ruin you for spaghetti anywhere else. 'cause
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay.
It's drizzled with the olive oil and the butter, and oh my gosh, it's so good.
Sounds like a good combination.
So good. And then if you have room for dessert, you may not. Because Northwestern Steakhouse doesn't
There's
actually
always room for
have
dessert.
any desserts on their menu because
Right.
like, people are always full.
Yeah.
But if they aren't, we send them to Birdsall's. So
There you go.
Oh,
a
perfect.
legendary ice cream favorite there in town. They do special flavors in the summer, like you can get peach ice cream in the summer.
Refreshing.
It's delicious.
Very cool. All right, and we've got roadside attractions as well. I don't know if we have time in this segment for this, or well, let's do it.
We
Let's
can
go
zip right
for it,
through this.
yeah.
Thanks, Claire. You guys actually, you'll see a little bit later.
You will, yeah.
You guys both have this picture, Kyle.
We do, yes.
And Justin.
I've been here as
Yeah.
well.
I know.
Gotta
I have
go.
yet
Brandon,
to
Iowa.
meet a roadside attraction I don't enjoy. My family may differ, but if I can make it work, I'm stopping.
You're stopping.
Absolutely. So there I was at the Brandon, and the Iowa's largest frying pan. Hawkeye Point near Sibley is our highest elevation at a whopping 1,670
Oh,
feet.
boy.
Okay.
You can take in panoramic views of 3 different states.
Oh.
Tree in the middle of the road in Brayton. According to the legend, When they were establishing the county lines, the surveyor placed a green cottonwood stick into the ground at the exact point where those lines crossed.
And that's it now.
And that grew into that tree.
Okay.
That's the legend. We've got the VW Avoca spider.
Oh my gosh.
Located near Avoca.
Oh, I never heard of this.
This
one before.
arachnid is constructed from a vintage Volkswagen Beetle and
That's
other
awesome.
metal
Very
parts.
cool,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, see, my husband's a good sport.
Hey, I've been
You
here.
made it in there, yeah. The
Swinging Bridge
yeah.
near Columbus Junction. This is a 262-foot long
It's a
swinging
little
bridge.
scary.
It is scary. I remember going in grade school, and the boys thought it was hilarious to swing the bridge.
Of
And we're
course
Oh,
they
yeah.
do. It's what we
No.
do.
If I'm going, I'm going alone.
Yeah, so I was able to go by myself, and I did not have to swing it.
Okay.
And then one more shout out to my hometown of Muscatine.
Go
Right.
Muscatine.
The unofficial world's largest watermelon slice. It's new since
Yes.
fall of 2023.
That's right.
40 feet long, 16 feet tall, 26 feet high, and weighs 16,000 pounds.
16,000 pounds. Wow.
Yes, and this
a lot.
one's nice and close to home for
Yes,
us
it
here
is.
in the
Yes.
metro. So visit Travel Iowa online for a variety of features to help you choose your next destination. You can even plan your trip on the website. And stick around. As we mentioned, Jessica will be back with us to talk more about some of our own
Yeah.
favorite communities in the state of Iowa. Yeah.
So we'll look forward to that, Jessica.
I'm
See you
looking
later.
forward to it too.
Yes.
Big surprise.
Yes. Well, coming up on QCL, It Takes a Village Animal Rescue will join us with today's adoptable four-legged friend, along with details on the 4th Annual Car Show fundraiser planned for this weekend. This weekend is the 4th Annual Car Show hosted by It Takes a Village Animal Rescue and Resources. It's an event that's revving up to raise money for an important initiative.
Yes, from shiny street rods to face painting for the kids, this family-friendly event has something for everyone.
Yes.
And here to tell us more is president and founder of It Takes a Village, Megan Kohler, along with Haley Wakeland, and our adoptable pet here today. This is Tinkerbell. Say hi, Tinkerbell.
Tink.
Over here.
Look at the camera, you're on TV.
There you go.
Oh, she's adorable.
Oh my gosh, can you tell us a little bit more about Tinkerbell? She's what, about 7?
Yeah, Tinkerbell's a 17-year-old French bulldog girl. She is available for adoption. Last week she went and she got spayed and brought current on vaccines, and she's ready for her family.
Recovered well and ready to go.
Ready to go. So what's her personality like? I mean, is she playful?
She's super chill. Like
Okay.
she's the epitome of a potato.
I love it. Are you a potato?
She is.
Yeah. She's so sweet. So what would be like a good family for Tinkerbell? Just like any
Honestly,
kids, other dogs,
I
or
would say anybody. She's
Okay.
fine with other dogs. She doesn't have any sort of reaction to
Okay.
other dogs walking by her her kennel in the shelter. Kids, we have zero reason to think there'd be any issue. As long
No,
as they're
yeah.
good snugglers, I think she'll be happy.
Oh, I think so too.
Good
Well, tell us a little
girl.
bit more about It Takes a Village. For those who are unfamiliar, you're not like a typical animal shelter. And you focus a lot on the homeless animal community as well.
Yes. So our biggest part of our mission is saving as many lives as we can, and
Yeah.
this can vary. It can be like emergency situations, here in our own community, or saving animals from euthanasia and high kill shelters in the South.
Sure.
We really just whatever is needed from us, that's what we aim for. But we don't have like an animal control contract. We're not a municipal shelter.
right? You just assist wherever needed.
Yeah.
And all of that, of course, costs money.
Yeah.
You just talked about how Tinkerbell was spayed. I mean, that is a medical procedure. You take care of, like you just mentioned, another dog before we started with heartworm. All of those medications. So in order to help with that, you guys are hosting your 4th annual car show coming up this weekend. And this has proven to be a super popular event.
It is. Our car show is hugely popular. So whereas a lot of our fundraising efforts is for like general medical or expenses, this particular fundraiser is for our TNR program.
Yes.
And this is how it's our humane litter prevention for community cats, so
Okay.
stray and feral cats. We typically have over 100 cars in attendance, and
great.
then just an absolute barrage of attendees. And this year, we expect that it's going to be even bigger. We have quite the RSVP list going.
Oh,
That's
we love
great.
hearing that.
Yeah,
That's
we're pretty
awesome.
excited.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's on the 10th.
Yes,
Saturday,
on the
May
10th.
10th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you got a full day of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
And there's gonna be a lot of music there. You're gonna have a DJ who's gonna pick their top 3 as well.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and we have a special prize. So what sets us apart from some of the other car shows you see in the area is that we have one trophy that is different than anybody else's. Gerard Motorsports here in Muscatine. They create this out of car parts, and it is a cat. and it is our
that's
perfect trophy. So that's always a fun one for everybody to.
Perfect.
Love
Get
it.
it?
Zendaya.
I just got
That's
it.
great.
But that's great. Okay, so you're going to have music. There's going to be a competition involved. You're also going to have food there. Giant tenderloins, from what I read, among other things.
Can't go wrong with a giant Iowa
Yes.
tenderloin.
And the event is kid-friendly, so you guys are going to have some stuff there as well for the kiddos.
Yeah, so and this is new from years past. We hadn't done this previously. We're going to have face painting. We have Scooter the neutered cat coming all the way from Ohio for the
yes.
event, which we
Gosh.
always love. But we're also going to have a Hot Wheels Derby. So the Boy Scouts in town are letting
That's
us use their
fun.
Derby track, so kids get to face off against each other and see who gets to take that title.
Oh my goodness, Tinkerbell, what do you think about all of that? Fun.
She's excited. And
so
some of her friends are
excited.
going to be there as well because you're going to have some dogs available for adoption.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
cool.
The whole event's at our shelter, so.
Yes, yeah, it makes it pretty easy,
Yeah.
right? So you talked about the TNR program just briefly, and again, this is focused on cats as we get into kitten season. I feel like it's really important to highlight this. So trap, neuter, return. Just give people the gist of what that means to you guys.
Yes. So basically, we know that there's not enough room in homes or in shelters for the number of homeless cats in Iowa, in our towns. Like, it's just not feasible because of the population crisis. So the best way to address this is not to go out and trap them and euthanize them as some
Right.
city codes have, but we want to fix them and vaccinate them and treat them for fleas and put them back in the colonies where they were found, and often have food supplies or caretakers already there.
Yeah.
So this is a huge it's a huge push for us. It currently is not legal in the city of Muscatine, so we've done it kind of all around Louisa and Muscatine County, but not in city limits. But there is conversation happening this Thursday night at City Council meeting. We are pushing to get this made legal. So that's a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so before we let you go, real quick, special meaning behind the creation of this event, because it was created by a father who lost his daughter who just absolutely loved animals.
Yes, so Mike Smith, he's one of the biggest car guys you'll ever meet. His daughter Tyrena passed, and he reached out to us and said, I would like to help you guys. I would like to hold a car show in memory of my daughter. And so the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
What a great way to honor her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
She was an animal lover, and this is just his way of keeping that memory. So a million different reasons to attend this event this weekend. If you want to learn more about adoptable pets like Tinkerbell or ways to support the shelter through donations, visit ittakesavillage.dog. Every time you guys are on, I just love that that's your website. Megan, Haley, and Tinkerbell.
Good luck, Tinkerbell.
Yes, thank you so
Cutie.
much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Well, coming up on QCL, we're sitting back down with Travel Iowa to talk more about some of our favorite trips and getaways in the state. That's next.
Quad Cities Live continues.
National Travel and Tourism Week is the perfect time to slow down, look around, and appreciate all the incredible places that we can explore right in our own backyards. From small towns, scenic byways, unique attractions, and hidden gems, there is really something for everyone.
Yeah, and today we are celebrating by sharing some of our favorite places to visit across the state. And joining us for that tour across the state is Jessica O'Reilly with Travel Iowa, and she's back as we continue this conversation.
Yes.
And she's going to chime in because she probably knows even more than what we do.
She does.
She always does. She's
I'm so excited to hear from you guys.
Yes, yeah, because she's not been given a preview of what we did since we kind of just
That's true. We
chose
just
our stuff today.
came up with it.
Yeah, so obviously, as most people know, I came from Waterloo and Cedar Falls, so I'm very well versed in that area. So I chose a few places that people can go. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the Quad Cities Metro, so not too bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to start off. I think we have a picture of downtown Waterloo there. I took this from on top of the historic Blacks building in downtown Waterloo. So that's overlooking the Cedar River there, and there's a look at it. It's a beautiful building. I think there's, I don't know, a dozen or so apartment spaces there. I didn't look at any of them because the station was right down the street, so I wanted to be as far away from work. But I had a friend who lived there. Very nice apartment. There's event space on the top, which is where I took that photo from. It's right across the street from Newton's Paradise Cafe.
You've talked about Newton's before.
Yeah, we were just talking about an Iowa pork tenderloin. I mean, there it is, Newton's Paradise
It
Cafe.
just looks like it's good.
Yes, exactly. It's an old jewelry, Newton's jewelry store. So it was transformed into a restaurant. There's the pork tenderloin right there with the Parmesan garlic fries. I don't know. Have you eaten there before?
I've not, but I've
What?
been to
You've not?
Morgs after
Morgs,
you mentioned
Morgs.
Morgs, and they're like, you said the pancakes were huge, and I
Yes.
was like, sure they are, and they're
They're
like,
they're the size
Gigantic.
of it. And
Spilling
surprisingly,
over the plate.
I couldn't find a picture of a pancake at Morg's, but Morg's is right down the street as well. So a lot of their like bars and restaurants and shops there are in downtown Waterloo. So
Cool.
that's a good option to have. Also in Cedar Falls, like I mentioned, they're right along the Cedar River. So there's plenty of trail space as well. You know, in my old days of being a runner, I used to go down here and run miles and miles on end each and every day, and took my dog along with.
Humble brag.
Brag. Yeah, well, I can only do that because now I can honestly tell you I don't do that anymore. But it was a past life. Exactly. Yes. If I still lived up there, I'd be pushing the kids in a stroller. But yeah, and there's a lot to do, especially in the summertime. In Cedar Falls, there's Sturgis Falls that happens in downtown at Gateway Park. There's Iowa Irish Fest in Waterloo, a lot of great stuff. And like we mentioned, we had kind of the same thing, same idea with Iowa's largest frying pan. There I am with my first dog I had, Zoe. Oh yeah, she was a sweetie pie. But yeah, this is about 20 minutes, half hour out of Waterloo and Cedar Falls. So on your way up, you can stop by and get a picture there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That
Love
was
it.
thorough. I mean, Kyle can be your
I understood the
tour
assignment, I
guide.
guess.
You certainly did. You clearly spent a lot of time there. The next one will be mine, and I chose Dubuque for mine. And unlike you, this is not a place that I've spent a ton of time in, but it is a place that I do like to go and visit. And for us being in the metro, it is a very easy travel time with family. So you saw the water park there. That was Grand Harbor. My daughter loves it. This is the elevator. It goes from right downtown Dubuque, and you just like go up the hillside, and that's another fun thing to do with family. It doesn't take a lot of time. The views are beautiful.
It's the world's shortest, steepest scenic railway.
Really?
And it's super inexpensive too. It's like $3 round
It
trip
is.
or
Oh,
something.
really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Gotta do it.
absolutely is. So I've done that a couple of
Beautiful
times.
area.
This is actually Park Farm Winery, the photo that you just saw there with the beautiful view. And that's the hotel downtown. That's Hotel Julian.
Hotel Julian.
That is a really cool place to spend some time. And this here is technically in nearby rural Maquoketa. So this is Codfish Hollow, Barnstormers. You can camp there, which this is one of my own photos of camping there. You can see live music in the barn, which is so much fun. I think those were photos from a Dawes show that I saw like a number of years ago. It is a very cool opportunity. Just like follow them on Facebook or something if you want to see what kind of shows they have coming up. So that's kind of just in the space of Dubuque, but it's a very cool place to visit. And Mines of Spain, we kind of rushed through that. And Park Farm Winery, again, it's kind of in the outskirts of Dubuque, almost even near the where you go skiing.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
the wines are great and the view is fabulous.
Yes.
So,
So my next pick is not far from Dubuque, Maquoketa Cave State Park, obviously. I don't have many pictures of my own because I went here many times when I was a kid. I remember.
I could have given you mine.
Yeah, my group of friends and I, when we first turned 16 and could drive, that was like the first place that we all went. So obviously Maquoketa Caves is the place to be. But I don't remember like much about what's in town, like to eat and drink and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Maquoketa is worth exploring. They've got a nice little art museum too that someone has exhibited at the Smithsonian, and yeah, it's a beautiful neck of the woods.
Their downtown
as they say.
in Maquoketa too is great. And they've got so many cute little restaurants there. Before we run out of time though, my next one is Muscatine.
Yes,
which
good old
I
Muscatine.
love.
Shout out to Muscatine.
Yes, that's the aquatic center there in Weed Park. I've taken my daughter there. It's so much fun. The water slides there are so much fun. It's like feels
keep that in mind,
brand new. It's a blast. That's Contrary Brewing Company, which is right on the riverfront. Great restaurants in Muscatine in general. Salvatore's Italian food.
Oh, yes.
What you're seeing here is Wildcat Den and Pine Creek Gristmill. That is a favorite for us to go hiking. I almost put in a picture, but I didn't think it was a good photo of me, of me and my daughter. I was carrying her in one of those little carriers and walking through a Wildcat Den. So that is fabulous. And then they have the Merrill Hotel, which is relatively new, also with an incredible view of the Mississippi River. So the Merrill is a great place.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous, like stunning views. There it is.
Yep.
There it is,
Right on the Mississippi. Great for events. They've got a restaurant, the whole thing. So Muscatine's got a lot going on for it.
Yeah, the next city that I picked was Des Moines, our state capital, obviously.
Nice.
I mean, I picked the basic things: Adventureland, which is obviously is now Tuna, and then the State Fair. If you've not been to the State Fair, I mean, you got to go and experience it. I mean, you need multiple days to really get the whole experience. But it's just a great trip to make during the summer.
It is.
Absolutely.
The final one, and I won't go into depth, it's Iowa City, where I went to college.
Yes.
And for those reasons alone, I don't think I need to go into depth in
You don't have photos for that?
advertising Iowa City. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the lost
The
years,
lost and
Jessica.
forgotten, right?
Okay, so there's so many things to love about it, and we don't have all of the time in the world. But even still, I love the downtown. I love the Ped Mall.
Yeah.
Again, a picture of my daughter.
Love it.
There's just so much to do. So many incredible restaurants,
It really
like the
is.
culinary and the art scene in Iowa City. Above and beyond. So I can't recommend it enough. And Jessica, we want to tell everybody too that there's a contest that they can get involved in this week. By sharing photos of their favorite places to visit.
Absolutely. We're giving prompts every day on our social channels, so check us out on social and submit your photos. One of them was actually the photo of our current travel guide came through that contest last year.
Oh
No
my gosh.
promises that you're going to be on the cover, but you can't be on the cover if you don't submit. So
Yeah,
please
that's
share a
awesome.
photo about, so like where you go to feel like a kid again, where you go to for farm fresh stuff, where you like to shop local. We just want to know where your favorite
Beautiful.
places are.
Very cool. Okay, well, that's awesome. So we will see Jessica again
will.
coming up in our second half hour of QCL. She's going to be back with us one more time, talking more about Memorial Day weekend ideas, from camping and glamping to vacation rentals. Plus, if you are limited on space but still want to garden this summer, we're getting some useful advice from the Illinois Extension. Learn how to grow everything from flowers to food on your front porch or patio.
But first, we'll have a check of your first alert forecast after the break.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
Well, it's been an afternoon with a mix of clouds and sun. We've got over the Quad Cities and Point South what we call a thin overcast, and you can really see that fine line. More blue skies to the north, and that thin overcast is allowing plenty of sunlight through, so technically a mostly cloudy sky from the Metro Quad Cities south. Here's Burlington, but again, with those thin high clouds, we're letting that sun shine through. Here's a look then at our high-resolution satellite imagery, and you can see the thin clouds coming in from the south, those popcorn cumulus clouds up to the north, and what we see to the southwest will be an increase in clouds tonight, and by tomorrow we could even get a few scattered light rain showers out of the deal. Here's a look at our Memorial afternoon temperatures. 70 degrees in the Quad Cities, looking at upper 60s around the edges, but a lot of, especially along the I-80 corridor, at 70 degrees. That's where we'll be after the show at 4 o'clock. Temperatures will fall back into the 50s overnight, maybe some upper 40s by morning, but then for the day tomorrow, with more clouds and a slight chance for some isolated light showers, temperatures will be held into the mid-60s. We'll time everything out here. There you see that increase in cloud cover from the south and west, and as we get into our Tuesday, the rain will be fighting a dry east wind, but nonetheless, through the afternoon, a few scattered showers are likely. That'll be the case Wednesday, too. We'll have your full forecast today at 4, 5, and 6.
Just ahead, the do's and don'ts of container gardening for this growing season. Considerations that make all the difference. Next on QCL.
Quad Cities Live continues.
As that weather warms up, many of us are eager to dig into gardening, but not everybody has the space or soil to start planting in the ground. So that's where container gardening comes in.
Yes, and while using containers do have their benefits, it can also be very different from gardening in the ground. We kind of alluded to this last week as well.
Yeah.
So here to answer our questions and explain is Emily Swihart with the Illinois Extension. Emily, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Excited to be heading into garden season.
I know.
Finally.
We're all itching for those 70s and 80s that were supposed to be here like over the weekend, but we know that that didn't work out. But it's coming, and we're all going to be getting in our gardens, especially because Mother's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
And that's like the rule of thumb. Like, you got to wait till Mother's Day, and once you
Yeah.
get there, you're generally okay
safe
with frost. So
Yes.
we're talking about the benefits of gardening in containers, but you have to know the difference because it's not the same as planting in the ground. So we need to know these differences because that can mean the difference between an upsetting season or maybe a great season.
Yeah,
planting.
neither is better than the other. They're just different, especially if you're limited on space or you want to have plants like closer to where you're going to be accessing them, like on a patio.
Sure.
Containers are really great for that. And you can pretty much use anything for a container. So I brought in some of the ones I've used. So you can upcycle too. Like this can be a Mother's Day craft project if you want.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But in order to make sure that we are utilizing containers well, I want to talk about the material of the
Okay.
container and then what we're putting into it. So this
Okay.
is less about the plants this time, more about like what we're growing
What
the
we're
plants
putting
in.
in, okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's 2 different types of containers. There are porous and non-porous containers. So porous containers would be ones like your clay, like your terracotta pots or your clay pots. The material will absorb water and it will, depending on the finish. So I've got just your straight terracotta pot over here. Air and moisture is going to move through that container, so it likely will dry out faster.
Okay.
This one is terracotta, but it's glazed, and so it won't. So it won't dry out quite as fast, but there will still be moisture retained in that, and so they're less winter hardy. So like they'll freeze thaw cycle, so you have to protect these in the winter.
Okay.
Non-porous containers would be things like metal. I've got a metal container here, got a plastic container over there. Both very, very durable, relatively lightweight. Do not hold water in their material, and so they'll typically hold water in the soil substrate
Okay.
for longer.
Okay.
Metal can get really hot in the sun, so you need to be careful about that. You can just actually cook your plants if you're
Oh
not
my
careful.
gosh, you're right. Yeah.
And so just be careful about that one. This one, again, like with the durability too, I actually left it out all winter long. Just
Oh, really?
Really?
didn't get around to moving it inside.
This is
And it
plastic.
held
Yeah.
up really well. It's plastic.
It doesn't
yeah.
look plastic.
Yeah,
it does not.
so really, really durable and inexpensive and lightweight, and so you can move that, around your landscape if you need.
Sure.
Okay.
So then the containers, beyond the material, we need drainage.
Yes.
You have to be able to drain water through your containers, and so that just is a hole in the bottom. Most
Yeah.
will have it. This is going to be upcycled. So this one I brought in because there's no.
But you're going to put that.
I will drill some holes in this before
Okay.
using it because you have to make sure that water can drain through there. Root rot is a result
Yeah.
of having too much moisture, and you really cannot bring plants back from root rot.
Root rot,
So
okay.
avoid
No,
at all costs.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I will say at a lot of the stores, not necessarily garden stores, but maybe some of the big box stores where they have like just the cutest ever
Yeah.
planters. They're so in style, whatever. I remember last spring going through and picking them out, I think maybe online, getting them, and none of them had had a hole in the bottom
Yes.
for drainage.
Many of the plastic containers at garden centers will have them. It'll look like a little button in there that you have to actually poke
Pop
out yourself.
out, yeah.
pop out yourself. So watch that. But yeah, if they don't have drainage on
Yeah.
their own, either
That's
put
for a fake plant. Yeah.
yeah, or put an insert in there that
Yeah.
you can then like remove and make sure there's drainage.
Yeah.
All right. So in the containers, all right. So I brought in some garden soil,
Yeah.
free, easily accessible for most of us. Not great for containers.
Okay.
Oh.
Good to know.
So it is made up of sand, silt, and clay. That's what native soil is made of, and that will compact. And it's really heavy in a container. Like when you take it out of the ground and put it in a container, roots just cannot thrive in that scenario. So you really want to invest in a high quality potting mix.
Okay.
It's going to be made up of things like peat, sphagnum, perlite. It's lighter weight. It's designed to hold moisture in many cases. Some come with fertilizer in them, some don't, so just be careful when you're
Okay.
choosing to read whether you need to supply fertilizer or not.
Okay.
But that is what we're going to want to put in any of the containers that we use.
Potting soil.
Otherwise, root constriction can be a real problem.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Can we talk about putting rocks in the
Yes, I was
bottom?
going to say, we want to do some myth busting
Okay,
here.
and I
Yes.
love that you're doing this
Yes.
because there are so many voices out
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are.
So I understand the logic. I do. I've done this in the past. So what we're talking about is putting like rocks at the bottom of your container with the drainage in it.
Yeah.
In the thought that it's going to help aid percolation. You're going to have water draining through your soil. You've got
Sure.
a lot more pore space.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, the physics of water. So your potting material is a much finer material, and so it's going to hold that water a lot tighter than these larger particles. So the potting mix is just going to hold on to it, and it can create a really soggy, soupy, like kind of like hydrophobic, or well, no, not hydrophobic. It's going to hold your moisture in there and create that root rot.
Root
Don't
rot
want
that you
that.
don't
Don't
want.
want
So don't do this. You don't need to. You just need adequate drainage.
Don't put rocks in there.
You don't need
Yes.
rocks. You have the kids paint them. if you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you for
You don't need
clarifying
to.
that.
You don't.
Yeah.
Please don't actually put those in there because it can cause problems.
It can cause problems. And she has
Yeah.
single-handedly explained to a T exactly why my tomatoes didn't grow last year.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Everything today.
And now you know.
Terracotta,
Yes.
pot. too small, the whole thing. So it's all making sense. Although I think I probably used potting soil, but with me, you don't know.
There you go. Well, and so with tomatoes, so we weren't talking specifically about plants, but make sure your container is sized to the plant you want to grow it.
Yeah,
in
and
it.
not what
Tomatoes
it is
get
now.
Really large.
Exactly.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So want to have a larger space for that. Well, if you want to learn more about container gardening or any other topics, you can get in touch with Emily and her colleagues by visiting the University of Illinois Extension website. We have that on your screen. And of course, as always, we'll post that on our website. Emily, as always, we appreciate you joining us
Yes.
and giving us a lesson on why our plants don't work.
Yes, thank you.
My
and giving
pleasure.
us the tips to make them work.
Exactly.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Just ahead, if you are still making Memorial Day weekend plans, Travel Iowa has some fun and unique getaways from glamping and covered wagons to retro camper stays and riverside escapes. Learn more next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Memorial Day weekend is an opportunity to take some extra time to explore, and Travel Iowa can help you plan even a last-minute getaway that is anything but ordinary.
Yes, whether you are craving a camping experience or more of a relaxing glamping experience, that's a thing these days, Travel Iowa has you covered, and Jessica O'Reilly is back to help us kick off the summer travel season with a spotlight on some of the most unique spots and accommodations in the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jessica, welcome back. Now, before
Thank
the
you.
show, you and Emily Swihart were talking this up. This is the whole glamping experience
Yes.
in Glenwood, right?
We were talking about one in Malcolm, but
Oh,
yes, this
yes.
is similar. We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get
This
there.
is another option. So there are two places you can stay in covered wagons. The first one is Best Nest Farms, which would send you all the way across the state, but then you get to see
Look
all
at
of Iowa on your
Yeah.
way. But how fun is this?
This is cool.
They've got walking trails, fishing, kayaks, paddle boating, farm animal feedings,
beautiful.
bird watching, stargazing, of
That's
course, like what.
gorgeous.
And really, again,
Alpacas.
we're all about the trend of slow locations and really savoring and nostalgia. So like, this is perfect, right on
an
nose,
alpaca.
right on trend.
Yeah.
So, and there's other things to do in the Glenwood area. Of course, it's right along the Lost Hills National Scenic Byway.
Yeah.
And so you can stop at places like
Oh,
there
wow.
and enjoy those landforms.
Iowa. I mean,
I know,
who'd
that's
thought?
Iowa,
Yeah.
right?
That's crazy.
I need to get you guys on the west.
You do,
I was
yeah.
we were talking about that the other day. We just have not ventured.
Venture west,
far
yes.
Venture, head west.
There's also a lily garden that you can go visit. They've got more than 240 different varieties of lilies growing on their farm. It's a third-generation farm. Most of them are potted and available for purchase. Sugar Makery is a sweet shop with popcorn, homemade chocolate items, fudge, nostalgic bulk candy, ice cream, and more than 200 glass bottle soda varieties.
Best kind.
So there you go, and then you can enjoy ice cream on their outdoor patio. There's a winery that you can features a rustic tasting room in
That's
a
so
large.
pretty.
Isn't it pretty? Posted beam, and then Cake Creek Brewing. If beer is more your speed, there's a tap room with 20 handcrafted beers and ciders. Their patio is pet friendly.
That's
So you
good.
can
I
take
love
your
that
pooch.
I love that you research that, because people
Yes.
they really
They
do.
like to take their
They
pets.
care
They
about
do.
that.
They do.
I love this next one. It's vintage campers.
Yes.
Okay, I've always wanted to own an Airstream.
There you go.
So you get to feel like you do.
You can. Yes, we touched on this last time I was here. We kind of ran out of time. So there are 4 of them. They call them the Silver Sisters, but their names are Rose, Blanche.
The Golden Girls.
Yes. So there's the vintage campers grouped together, including a 1961 vintage Forester or a 1976 Airstream travel
love
trailer
that.
for a retro stay. So if you're the nostalgia vibes
Yeah.
strong with this one.
Yeah.
Nearby Newton, of course, is the Speedway. It's the fastest short track on the planet. The IndyCar race weekend is July 11th and 13th, or if you're into NASCAR, that's August 1st through the 3rd.
Yeah.
The Arboretum and Botanical Garden, beautiful just to wander through that garden. It's got a variety of plant species, flowers, trees, all things naturey.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go, again, nostalgia, the drive-in. We only have so many of these here in Iowa, but
Love a good drive-in.
this is Central Iowa's only remaining drive-in. It's open now through October. It's got the original neon sign and the teasers that show before the movie.
Yes.
So you can get and stuff from the Snack Shack. Or if you want to get pizza beforehand,
Oh, yeah.
Giovanni's Pizzeria. It's been there for more than 45 years. So you know they know what they're
A
doing.
lot of food we're talking
Look at
about
that.
today.
I
Yeah.
know.
Hungry.
And then Hazelig Brewing is set in the former Maytag facility. They've won numerous awards for their beers. Think
Yeah.
Liquid Hug, they say.
A
there you
Liquid
go.
hug. Well,
like that.
That'll
There
get
you are.
you. Yeah.
And then this brings us to Sunset Hills, which is where we were selling the
Yeah,
the-
Malcolm.
Oh,
Down
okay.
Malcolm.
And we stopped on the way over here today. We stopped and visited. It's amazing. Like, these covered wagons are much larger than you would think. That's a king-size bed in there.
Wow.
And they also have bunk beds.
It's gorgeous.
Excuse me. So they also have a cabin that you can stay in, and that one is available all year. And they bring the bison up nearby, so you could just sit on the patio and watch the bison in the corral right next to you.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you're glamping in a cabin. I'm just going to reiterate: a king bed, bunk beds if you need them. There's heat, there's AC, the whole thing. So that is very cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff nearby. This one as well. This is near Grinnell, which is already a big tourist attraction for a lot of people. They've got the museum there. They've got Prairie Canary, which is a really popular. And then what's this one? The Grinnell favorite, Dairy Barn.
Dairy Barn, yeah.
Okay.
Ice cream. So you can try a candy-filled ice cream cyclone or a frozen yogurt flavor of the day.
There it is,
Check out their website for their monthly schedule of flavors. They also have a Polly Ice pizza there, so if you want pizza. And then the Merchants National Bank, which is where their chamber office is, was designed by Louis Sullivan, so a contemporary of Frank Lloyd Wright. Back to their architecture. Everything loops together.
Everything comes together here in the state of Iowa.
Yes.
And while we have a couple minutes left, I'm really excited to get to this one because this is one that I want to participate in at some point this summer. So Riverview Tiny Homes in Bellevue. Look at that.
Cute?
Adorable.
Right? They're custom built, situated right along the Mississippi River in Bellevue. You're within walking distance of downtown Bellevue and below the bluffs of Bellevue State Park.
Yes.
Talk about the scenery there.
Oh, yeah, I know. Beautiful, right? The sweeping views. I mean, I know you guys have the Mississippi here, too, but
that.
it's also lovely upstream,
It really
too.
is. It really is, yeah.
It's nice to see it from different perspectives.
No, it definitely is.
And the drive from here to there would be beautiful, right along the Great River Road, scenic byway. So
Oh, look at
it'd be a great drive.
Yeah.
Bellevue
beautiful
State
photo.
Park has a butterfly garden that's maintained by volunteers that hosts butterflies, bees, birds, and bugs. There's a brewery in town, River Ridge Brewing. All of the decor, wood, and tin were reclaimed from family farms. Again, stunning views of the river.
All the views, yeah.
And then Offshore Bar and Grill has a state-of-the-art outdoor pool and aquatic center, plus a bar and restaurant with seating
that's nice.
available
Wow.
on the riverfront deck.
Yeah, this is like a vacation spot for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, this is a pleasure, as always. I mean, you give us so many great ideas. It can be overwhelming at times, but you can get all this information and learn more about the places that we featured today and even more cool destinations by visiting traveliowa.com. Jessica, as always, we appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Your News at 4 is coming up next. Have a great evening.